It's just not making sense.
The interrogator is doing a good job of appearing neutral. Despite the evidence pointing to Samantha being dishonest with him, he makes it out as if he is on her side. The more she trusts the detective, the more likely she will be to confess.
Okay. All right, finish writing your statement before we go back with you, okay? You need something to drink?
He left with my phone. Where did he take that?
Well, we've got a search warrant for your phone. That phone's gonna be ours for a while. Because the every call you've made probably in the past year, we're gonna have to look at.
Okay.
Your text message, everything. So we've got a search warrant for your phone. Okay?
Okay. I'm telling you everything I know.
The wild part about this always is like, did you watch the latest JCS?
I think so.
Like the one where the woman was like so annoying all the way to the end, and she's like, "All right, well, time to go home now." And they're like, "No, you're going to jail."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just entitlement.
Oh,
like,
the suitcase video.
Yeah, the suitcase lady. Like the sense of entitlement goes bananas mode for some of these people, where they just literally think like, "I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? Can I get my phone back to make another order for food? My biscuit and gravies haven't come back." You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, no, lady, you're going to jail, dog. Like, no, they have a search warrant on your fucking phone. Like, you did a murder.
That white woman privilege right there.
I mean, it's just, it's a white lady debuff.
Entitled.
Repeating everything they've said.
Okay. Well, just go ahead and do you got your statement. We'll get back with you in a minute, okay?
You can look at my record. I'm not somebody that gets into trouble.
Sit right there and told me the same story just like you're telling me. And, they tried to convince me. And in the end, when the evidence come in, they sat there and we knew all along they were lying. We know all along the story.
Oh, shit. Oh, he's giving it up. He's giving the game up a little bit. He's flexing. He's flexing. That's BM. That's BM. You haven't cooked her yet. He's doing like a Chekhov's gun. You know what I mean? He's like, a lot of times we always know that they're lying, but we listen to them nonetheless.
Detectives want suspects to think they know more than they actually do, or that they're about to find some crucial piece of evidence, leaving suspects panicking about how much police actually know. Investigators want suspects to feel the time pressure to confess, implying that it's in the suspect's best interest to do so before it's too late.
I will be the first person to come forward because I want it out.
So let me ask you something. How did you call for help if you was tied up?
I used my nose.
So they didn't take your phone in. They left your phone there.
They asked me if I had a phone, and I told them no. And they asked him,
so how'd you get to it? How'd you get to it?
I wiggled on my side.
Where was it? Where was
I was on this side of the upstairs, and it was shoved up underneath the edge of the bed on this side of the upstairs.
Who did you call?
My mother was the first number on my call list. I just used my face. And
so instead of calling 911 for help, you called your mother?
How do you press 911 with your face?
Well, how did you dial your mother with your face?
I didn't dial my mother. I just pushed the first thing that was on there. It had just happened to be my mom.
Although Samantha may believe this is a reasonable explanation, you'll encounter another witness who will tell the sheriff's office that they observed Samantha with her phone simply laying on her lap in the aftermath of the attack. Next, the sheriff wants to hear about what's been going on in Samantha's personal life.
Well, now see, here's something else I don't understand. Maybe you can help explain to me. You talked about how much you love Ernie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But though you're talking to Brian, you're talking to Alan.
Oh, damn.
I have friends because I'm...
Oh, my God. Okay, this actually does make sense as to why the cops are so skeptical of her, because they basically see her as like they just see her as like a bad woman, a harlot. You know what I mean? Like that's probably part of the reason why they were like, yeah, okay.
Oh no.
A Jezebel.
No, not that kind of friend. When people like you, no, you think that's normal for married people to?
In the world nowadays, in general, I think more people our age. I wish I could marry somebody like my dad. He's great to my mother. There's nobody else ever that could turn his eyes from her. He's the perfect husband.
Okay.
God knows I didn't marry anyone. He cheated
Oh,
on
shit.
me more than once. And
Oh, that's a double.
I think
That's
every
a-
once in a while to hear
That's a throw right there.
Yeah,
That's a
she's
throw.
giving
You just
a
gave the
reason.
motive. She literally went from being in like the cops are suspecting that she is, you know, indecent and perhaps a harlot, if I do say so myself, maybe a Jezebel. And then she fucking turned around and was like, no, actually my husband is cheating on me. He sucks. I hate him. Of course, not enough to murder, but like I do hate him. My missing husband that I'm supposed to think is currently not dead. Yeah, that's a big throw. Big throw.
that I'm beautiful and to hear that I am an attractive person and that I am not the most horrible person in the world. It's nice.
This could be an
Oh.
attempt to not only
Oh.
justify her actions in talking to other guys, but it could also be a deliberate attempt to portray her husband in a negative light.
Also, cops will 100%, even the most hog-like cops are going to use this as an opportunity, as we both know, as we all know, as you know, investigation specialists here, to be like, oh, maybe it was self-defense, because when they catch her in a when they try to when they try to lead her towards the self-defense argument, it ultimately will turn into conflicting testimony, in which case it's over. It's a wrap.
She's hinting toward verbal abuse by claiming that he would tell her how horrible she is. This seems especially unusual given the fact that her husband is still missing. Most people would avoid speaking ill of a loved one who's missing or recently deceased. She may be setting up a possible defense if it's later proven that she was involved in his disappearance.
Did Ernie ever look at your phone?
Yes, all the time.
Did he see those messages where you've been talking to them guys?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Nothing. He didn't particularly like it, but after what he put me through, he told me as long as I didn't bring anything home or do anything at the house, then he didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to know about it. And I told him, I'm not cheating on you. Yeah, these guys tell me I'm beautiful and they tell me that I'm, you know, and I go out to my mom's house and I go to the bar and I go dancing.
Earlier, Samantha claimed that she didn't go out much and was just a stay-at-home mom. Now that detectives are questioning her about the guy she was talking to, she suddenly changes her story. She may have given the first statement because it supported the narrative she was trying to weave, about how she was a homebody who didn't know anyone who could be involved in her husband's disappearance. However, now that detectives have evidence of her text with other guys, she needs to support this new narrative.
And yeah, I may have a little too much to drink and someone says, hey, can I have your number? And I may give it to them.
Oh
But
my
that's as far as it
God.
goes.
Samantha seems preoccupied with others.
Why?
That's
Yeah.
insane, dude.
I
What
can't
the
believe
fuck?
she has 5 children.
Like, yeah. Well,
Acts
that
like
just means she
this.
likes to fuck, right? That's
Get a divorce. What
And
is
she-
this? What kind
and
of
she
relationship?
absolutely hates using protection. We know two things. Samantha Wolford loves the fuck, number one, and she hates condoms, okay? No one discussed in these videos have been formally diagnosed by EWU, and our psychological analysis based on the general behaviors and traits of the people discussed.
Recognizing her as beautiful, given her repeated use of the word to describe herself. This could be a possible indication of her having narcissistic traits.
Anyway, sorry, like this little button came up on the corner of my screen and I pushed it and now my lighting is different and it's making my face look all splotchy and I don't know that I like it. I'm a little vain, I guess.
A narcissist requires excessive.
Yeah, I mean, she's a YouTuber. Yeah, like, unlike Twitch streamers, everybody knows this is how YouTubers are, okay? Like, just kidding. Not you.
I mean, technically, you're a YouTuber too.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am not
So
a YouTuber.
vain.
I'm a Twitch streamer, which is so much worse, to be honest.
True.
Of admiration. She may have felt like she didn't get the recognition from her husband that she felt entitled to. so she sought out that attention from other men.
The channel goes
I-
wild with the
in your
overreaching
statement-
law. I mean, yeah, they do, like, that one is a bit of a stretch, like, or it's like an obvious thing that I wouldn't take to the level of like, oh, this is definitely like a narcissist. Or if she is, I feel like that clip of her being like, oh, you know, I clicked on the corner of a button and or I clicked on a button and now my face is splotchy, whatever the fuck she said. Like, that's not enough to definitely prove that she is nice gold plaque behind you. Fuck. That's I stole that from someone else. It's not mine.
You might want to just go ahead and write in there after you talk about what happened tonight. You might just want to talk about and put in there that you have been friends with, because who's to say that one of these guys didn't set it up to try to get you where you're single and I can come in and get you and just use that as a ploy.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I may know something without even realizing
Yeah.
I know something.
The detective is laying groundwork for the theme development stage of the read technique by suggesting that one of the men who was interested in her had something to do with her husband's disappearance. If she can admit to this possibility, it will be easier for her to later admit to having knowledge of it, and then eventually to her confessing that she was actively involved. When the sheriff mentions that perhaps one of her male acquaintances set this up to make her single, she grasps at this idea as another motive. She may be realizing her story and acting aren't going over as well as she'd imagined. Once again, she's the victim. It seems she'll do anything to deflect attention from herself.
In October, things blew up. He laid his hands on me.
Oh, dude, the detective's gonna cook her on this. I'm telling you, detectives love this shit. New lore unlocked immediately. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, well, if he's a detective worth his salt, he will immediately turn around and be like, you know, you could be a victim in this circumstance. I mean, that's something that we're willing to work out. Seems like you were victimized quite a bit by this big bad man. You know what I mean? Boom. Immediately lead her down the self-defense angle to trap her, because all of a sudden, now you got conflicting testimony. Boom, blammo, it's over. She's toasted.
I put criminal
Blammo.
trespass on him, not on his sister, because she was acting crazy and harassing me. My friend David Smith had talked to me earlier, said he might come by later that night. I told him it was probably not the best idea. What, Ernie gonna be there?
Who's this David Smith?
He called in and reported that he was there. Then when he realized that I intended on giving him the chance to be the better person he says he's gonna be, and to go through the criminal trespass or the anger management courses and go through and do what he says he's gonna do, and I'm gonna give him that chance out of home on his own without having a judge to force him to do it.
So Ernie's got a lot of anger issues.
Yes,
Is he jealous?
severe. Yes,
Is he very
severe.
jealous of you?
This is different than what she said earlier about how Ernie told her she could do whatever with whomever, as long as it wasn't at their house. Samantha appears to...
You know what he's called? We're in a polycule, officer. Mr. Detective, sir. Yeah, that's right. I like to put on a fursuit sometimes. Get wild with it. You didn't see it in the house, but I got one of them fursuits. You know, it's called a polycule. Call up our boy. His name is Sneeko. He does YouTube as well. Just sits there and watches. Okay, sorry. Let's continue.
enjoy being in the role of the damsel in distress and having David Smith and these other men come and save her from her allegedly abusive husband. This is another example of Samantha's need for attention, which is common among individuals with narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes. David Smith hit him up because me and him had been hanging out. I hadn't intended on ever hearing from Dagon again, Ernie. I had never intended on speaking to him again. He cheated on me and he laid his hands on me. I was done. Well, his sister talked his way back in, and he said he loves you, blah, blah, blah. He wants to be with you. Well, I was on a Skype conversation with him, and David was at the house, and he heard it.
What do you do?
Damn, he's risen on Skype. That's crazy. That's a different level of horniness right there. When you're getting rizzed up on Skype, dude, really? It's like one step removed from getting rizzed up on Zoom calls, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, that's right. We're on Skype conversations, you know. I mean, it is. Oh yeah, this is right. It is 2015. Still, Skype is weird
this is older.
to riz up on.
He got freaking furious and started freaking out on me and treating me like crap and threatening me. David, this guy that was a friend and only a friend, wanted to be with me. And when he realized that I had intended on going back to my husband, he freaked out.
I need to find out where David lives. If you
What?
say he lives close to you, I need to find out where he lives at.
Uh-oh. David's going to jail, brother.
Rita? Hey, there is one other way that we can make absolutely sure and clear you. We can give you a polygraph test.
Would you mind me speaking to my
First of all, a polygraph test? Dude, Texas is so barbaric. I swear to God. Like, that shit is so dumb. I can't believe cops still use that. It's insane, okay? It's insane. Those things are such fucking bullshit. They're completely inadmissible in court for obvious fucking reasons. It's just ridiculous.
Hassan,
What's up?
the stream stopped working in Discord.
Wait, it did?
Mm-hmm.
No, I just paused it.
Oh, it has a loading thing for me and an exclamation point.
Here, I'll turn it off and then on again. Do it one more time. Here you go.
The polygraph can also pressure people to confess to something.
Look at you. You got cop brain.
Yeah.
Polygraph is using a vibe check for evidence. Yeah, I mean, it's no different.
mother before I completely agreed to that.
Well, but now if you have nothing to hide, why would you want to talk to your mama?
Because it's nothing against you personally, but just cops in general. You hear such negative things and how they are not out to help you, and CPS is the same way. And I just kind of want to get my mom and dad's opinion on if it's in my best interest.
You know what?
How about instead of your mom and dad, you get a legal opinion? You know what I mean? Like, you do have the right, and you should. She's like, let me ask my mom. The fuck do you mean? Like, literally call a lawyer instead. Anyway, let's just.
You know what I think? I think it's not going to be long. I think they're locking your butt up. What I think. I think
Not
you've been
the
lying to
butt.
me this whole thing. You did get them right.
Wow, dadgum. He's a
locked
dadgum
up.
guy, and he said he's a dadgum guy, and he said, but you know he's pissed.
He's
You
old
know-
ting.
What?
He's old ting.
No, he got mad. Yeah, we're gonna be locking your dadgum butt up.
And I think you're a liar. What I think. I think you know exactly who did this. Now, mind the freaking story for a minute. That's what I think.
Your freaking
So I tell
story.
you what, let's do. Let's just get on with it.
It seems that the interrogator's anger is an intended tactic here.
No, it's
it evokes
not.
the desired reaction from
No, it's not. That is not an intended tactic. He got pissed. He got pissed that she's not collaborating. And he just popped off. A person who says dadgummit is never going to use the B word. Okay? But unless they're like legitimately upset. There's no fucking shot.
I think it's a tactic.
No, she pulled an ACAB and he got mad. He's like, there's nothing cops hate more than being told that they're not doing a good job. That's it. They immediately, they just like fall back into, they like lose their minds immediately. I think if anything, her tactic of pissing him off worked better.
He said butt and freaking. I feel like it's a tactic. If you
No, I think for a cop, I think for a cop that says dadgummit, for them to say butt and freaking means that they're pissed off. I've had it up to here with this, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Levels of white anger ranked. Son of a gun. All right, bucko. You just hold your horses. Well, now just wait a minute. Newsflash, pal, and then listen here, buddy.
Not to listen here, buddy.
Yeah, when you pull out the listen here, buddy, you know dadgummit, things are about to go south.
No.
Okay. And I don't mean like that rat's ass Sherman. Okay? Things are about to go south in a not a good way. Okay. All right, let's continue. Sorry for derailing.
Samantha, but it can also be a setback to the overall interrogation's progress. Any trust created is now gone. This is a change-up used only when there is overwhelming evidence against the suspect. Hearing this,
Yeah.
Samantha may be experiencing the freeze response here. Her body is completely still, with her mouth hanging open. When someone
Unpause
senses
her.
danger, such as Samantha realizing here that police don't buy her story one bit, they may cease all movement. This is an instinctual response to danger. Movement invites attention, so freezing may make someone momentarily feel like they can lower the spotlight on them.
That's why I say I've tried to really be honest with you.
And that's why
and
I'm
yet I
coming
feel
up
that you
with
have done
more
nothing
now and
but sit
trying to
here this
help.
whole time. If I'm gonna tell you right now, DPS is dang good to them. If you ain't got nothing to hide, and what bothers me is you even hesitate to take that, knowing it would positively clear you or to positively show that you're hiding something. But what's gonna make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in here.
The sheriff indicates that lying will essentially make her guilty. This is somewhat misleading. Though, as stated previously, the police are legally allowed to mislead suspects so long as they do not coerce them into a confession.
That part is so fucked up. Like, God. I mean, which, by the way, that's fucked up. But as far as we understand, it's even worse in Canada, which is surprising. A lot of other countries have literally worse rules on interrogation than even in the United States of America. So,
Really?
yeah.
Like what?
I think in Canada, they don't even need to tell you that you can get a lawyer. Like, they're just straight up also allowed to lie, but also they don't even tell you need to get a lawyer or you can get a lawyer. There's no Miranda rights. So you just, they can like legally lie to you and they don't have to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not even true anymore since cops can no longer be sued. Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court's Miranda decision further guts the 150-year-old civil rights law. Yeah, they also took away a piece of that too, right? Yeah, the June 23rd decision bars lawsuits against police for using evidence obtained without advising people of their rights. The Miranda warnings the court mandated nearly 60 years ago are basically gone. It's still admissible. So I guess it doesn't matter in America either, no longer.
Nevertheless, the inconsistencies between Samantha's statements and the evidence could be used to suggest that she is aware of her own guilt and is using lies to cover it up. Therefore, the investigator is trying to establish knowledge of guilt, or more commonly referred to as consciousness of guilt. This is most often established by circumstantial evidence related to the suspect's actions or inactions after a crime.
If that is the case, then I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope, it sure don't. No, that makes you a scared mother with children.
Interestingly, Samantha asked the sheriff about being an accomplice. The law usually treats accomplices just as it would principals.
I recommend you do your research for claiming Canada does do that. Oh, maybe it's not the Miranda rights, but instead that they don't have to stop the investigation, or they don't have to stop the interrogation when you do request a lawyer. What is it? Which one is it? It's one or the other. But I know for a fact that in Canada, they even if you ask for a lawyer, they can just continue. They can continue interrogating you. Like, they don't stop. They can just keep questioning you.
So if you request a lawyer and they keep questioning you and you don't, without your lawyer,
No, they
then
can't. Not true. They read a charter and caution here. They have to read a charter and caution. No, they can't. Okay, let's take a look. I've literally seen this happen. So
should I come back in 30 or
no. It's okay. After you speak to a lawyer, the police may continue to ask you questions. Even if you say you do not want to answer, they can continue to ask. However, you have the right to remain silent, and you do not have to answer. Unlawful interrogations. No. It's United States. Wait. Yeah, look. The right to counsel. It's time for Canada to allow lawyers into the interrogation room. This is in 2021. Many Canadians are likely familiar with Miranda rights from watching American movies. A police officer detains a suspect and immediately says you have a right to remain silent, blah, blah, blah. Canadians might be surprised, however, to hear that one of these rights, the right to have a lawyer present during a police interview, currently does not exist on this side of the border. Yeah. In Canada, you have a right to consult a lawyer, and just like in the U.S., you do not have a right to consult with a specific lawyer of a defendant's choice in either of the countries. The main difference here is that you have a right to have a lawyer present during questioning and interrogation in the United States, but not in Canada. You also have a right to halt questioning for a second consultation with a lawyer in the United States, not in Canada. You have a right to consult with a lawyer a second time in the United States, but not in Canada. And you have a right to in-person consultation with a lawyer in the United States, but not in Canada. Yeah. This is also important. This is important to understand because these can critically change the outcome of an investigation. So you're not forced to answer and they have to read that charter and caution is all I'm saying? No, you didn't just say that. You also said that I was wrong on the other lawyer thing. Okay, Luke the Llama, Mr. Defender of Canada. Have fun with your healthcare getting eviscerated and privatized, by the way. Sorry. Yeah.
What? You're already right. Relax.
It doesn't matter.
Relax.
Oh, sorry. Also, the queen owns you. I mean, she's dead, so the king owns you now.
Oh my God, he's tripling down.
Yeah, Commonwealth ass. I'm just kidding.
The damage has been done.
No, I'm just messing around. I'm sure the chatter knows I'm kidding. I love Canada. All right, let's keep going.
Meaning that accomplices can face exactly the same legal penalties. Most states hold a person criminally liable if they aid or abet another in the commission of a crime. The classic example of this is a getaway driver for a bank robbery. Importantly, this is a distinct concept from conspiracy. A conspiracy is when two or more people make an agreement to commit a crime, and at least one individual within the group takes some overt act towards committing the crime. In such a case, all conspirators are criminally liable for the conspiracy.
The only other thing I know, I don't even know, I know,
Okay.
but it's a suspicion.
Okay.
I've been up at the hospital with my friend Charlotte,
Okay.
and she's got a guy there, and I swear to God, I cannot go up there that I said any of this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, and my life will be in a lot of danger.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is that
She altered her. What you fail to recognize is that this white lady had already ulted multiple times throughout this process. And everyone knows with each ult, you end up getting the ultimate buff nerfed time and time again. By the third ult, you have approximately 75% less damage.
to her and talking to her about problems like I just told you. I have a problem with talking to my friends about our problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many of them. So when I do get with one of my
He does
friends,
not.
I'll talk about
Okay.
He does not give a
problems
fuck.
with my
He's
There
rapping.
hasn't been many.
Okay.
And we have
Like,
had
sure,
problems
lady.
that I hadn't seen
All
Charlotte
right,
in a long
okay.
time.
Okay. Come on with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he gets
That's fucked up.
talking about
God.
how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way and how you don't do those things to a person,
Okay.
and he's going to deal with the situation. I
Okay.
didn't take him seriously.
Okay. You see, Sam, you know who did this. But that does not
But
make
I
you
don't
guilty.
have
I'm
any
still.
proof that he did. I just have what he said.
Okay, who is this guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His Facebook is Rebel. John Rebel. It's John.
Damn, that man's at Titus County. That man's at Titus County 7 right there. Hard 7. Dude, John Rebel? That's a sick fucking name.
I don't truly know his last name, but his Facebook says John Rebel.
At this point, it seems Samantha's crying could be attributed to the fact that her story isn't yielding the results she'd hoped for, rather than because Dagan is missing. This behavior is consistent with her narcissistic tendencies. At this time, Samantha first mentions an acquaintance known as John Rebel. Herein begins a turning point in this complex story, as a new persona begins to evolve.
He's got a brother named Greg. He's got a really bad history as far as...
Who's Greg?
I was told he's an informant.
What?
I don't know Greg's last name
Where does
either.
John live?
I don't know. I know that he's been staying with Charlotte.
So if he did this, who do you think he'd bring with him?
Me.
I don't know any of his friends. But yesterday at the hospital, he had a guy that I do know from town with him. His name is Tay.
So many dudes.
Tay Rhymes.
Samantha is beginning to let all of the cats out of the bag. In just a few short minutes, she's implicated John Rebel, who will soon be identified as John Sanford, and Tay, whom investigators will learn is a man by the name of Octavius Rhymes. The pace of the investigation is beginning to accelerate and will continue to pick up speed as the disturbing details begin to surface.
Did they do something to let you know that it was them inside that house?
Not 1,000% particular, but I'm pretty sure it was him. The height and the weight and the way he was talking, all
Okay.
gangster.
You
And
pull yourself together and get to writing, and we need to arrest these folks and keep them off the street where they can't hurt you and your children.
there was a third person with him.
Okay, who do you think it was?
He's got people that's staying with
Who,
him.
John Rebel?
When they were in the hospital before
Uh-huh.
this happened at my house,
Yes?
Tay was with him. There
Uh-huh.
was another guy, I don't know his name,
He's
but he pretty much
acting
fits the middle of
Shirley.
the third guy.
There was three people?
Yes, at the house there was 3 people. And at the hospital yesterday, you can look at the cameras, there was 3 people.
So they have them on the video camera there at the
At the
hospital?
hospital, yes.
Okay.
There was Tay and that guy and this third party. The one that I said was basically like the ringleader that was bossing everybody around. The other 2 really didn't talk much other than a word here and there. But it was the big guy, the third party that was at the hospital.
She claims not to have known the third man at the hospital, but she's prepared to shift all of the blame in his direction.
The only thing I know about the heavyset dude is they called him JoJo, but they told me that wasn't his name. I believe they said it was Jose.
Samantha reveals quite a bit about this third person. Samantha gives a detailed story about where JoJo lives and knows that everybody calls him JoJo, despite saying just moments ago that she just met these individuals. Also, another significant item to note. Do you recall when the corporal at the scene learned of a ping on Dagan's phone from dispatch?
0.86 miles from a residence in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
He asked Samantha if she knew anyone in Pittsburgh, and she had no reply. Well, it turns out she did. Tay and JoJo were both residing in Pittsburgh.
Yada yada does
She
it.
heads out for a smoke break as members of the sheriff's office prepare to head to the local hospital, determined to intercept.
Damn, they gave her a smoke break for all the leaks, dude. Yada yada does it mentioned.
A good thing.
I love the new IAA. It's so funny, Chad. So stupid.
2 suspects that have been frequenting Charla's room
All
for
right, Ray,
days.
you keep him occupied.
Both
I gotta
John
pee
and
real quick.
JoJo were apprehended at the hospital at 9:39 a.m. As you'll see, each interrogation will be damning, to say the least. The clock now reads 10:10 a.m. The other party that was picked up at the hospital by the sheriff's office, a man by the name of John Sanford, a.k.a. John Rebel, is seated in the interrogation room. He's dressed in black pants and a black long-sleeve shirt. The clothes match Samantha's description of the assailant's dress provided to law enforcement. Clearly, John is quite comfortable here. He may be thinking that if he engages with law enforcement, they'll believe him or go easy on him.
John, you know what this is about, buddy. You know exactly what it is. You know what happened over at Samantha's house last night. That's what we want to talk to you about, okay? I'm on Randize. You know your rights. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, and that's fine. I hope you decide to, because I think
wish
there's
you
some
would have
things you
paused the
probably need to
video.
tell
I
me.
feel like I
Your side
can't
of the
talk
story.
over it.
They see it's going to match Samantha's, because Samantha, I'll be honest with you, she's pointing the finger at JoJo. She said you was with him. Now, do you want to talk to me just a little bit about this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you what they're saying first, because I think you'll be honest, because
Chat, we can April Fool's prank him.
I better
Everyone
do.
be quiet.
he's
Let's pretend.
dead. But now, according to Samantha, you was just a bystander. Why, JoJo beat the living crap out of him up there in the room where y'all blood collecting evidence.
Anytime there are multiple suspects involved in a crime, police will want to separate them as soon as possible, so they don't have a chance to get their stories aligned. Police may often plant the seed of doubt that the others are implicating them, leaving each suspect with the decision dilemma of whether to confess or remain silent. The detective is also utilizing a read technique here of placing blame on an outside source rather than on the suspect himself. This will make it easier for John to admit his involvement, because the detective is building the theme that John was just a bystander, not the main perpetrator. Additionally, in this situation, it's likely that there are no real bystanders from a legal standpoint. Under a theory of accomplice liability, if the prosecution can prove that John aided or abetted the murder of Dagan, John would be in the same legal jeopardy as the person who pulled the trigger.
Okay, this all started yesterday. Like you said, yeah, we talked to her about her problem with her husband and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Never did I plot to kill the guy. I have a problem with males hitting
Oh
females.
no.
And I do too.
She did say that
Hassan?
there's been times
What's
it's
up?
crossed her mind.
Everyone's gone. Oh no.
What do you mean?
Chat's dead.
Did you tell him the spam?
Okay, first of all,
Dot,
why
dot,
did you
dots?
keep the video playing? I can't talk to chat when the video's playing, and I didn't even pay attention. Ever since you got up, I didn't listen to a single thing the video's playing, because I was trying to think, I was like, how am I supposed to talk to chat if the video's just playing? And then I was thinking he's probably gonna rewind this because he's not listening either. And then chat died.
Did you get them to spam it? Or that's what I thought you were going to do. I thought you were trying to pull a
Yeah.
trick on me.
Yeah, did it?
I know how Jezebels are.
Are you calling me a harlot?
I know how women do tricks.
April Fools.
Tricksters. That was a good one.
I told them to hide.
Yeah, well, I assumed, which is why I wasn't, saying anything. But yeah, you guys got me good. Trickery is sinful, though. Never again. None of this tomfoolery. Cease with this tomfoolery.
We got him.
All right, let's continue.